Good evening and welcome to the regular council meeting for December 19th. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we do have a quorum here. Dustin, would you give the invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather this evening. Let us all work and agree the best we possibly can for the betterment of our community. Be with each one of us as we return home safely, and watch over us and our families throughout this holiday season. In your divine and holy name we give praise, honor, and thanks. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I would like to get a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from November the 14th.
Move.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to do the same for regular council meeting on November 21st. Like a motion, please, to approve the minutes.
So move.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Now we can get the signature cards. That'll get you off the hook.
Y'all are all responsible for signing checks now.
Well, once we get the, you have to go to the bank and show them your proof of ID, social security number, and then they'll put you on the signature card.
And then you're all
Citizens.
I'll let y'all know once everything gets submitted to them, so that Jen gets that.
Yeah. So, talking about the dams, Camelot Dam, LJA has sent in the engineering documents to Langford. TCEQ has approved the design, and we are now ready to go out on bids. Pre-bid date is set for January the 9th of next year. Bid opening is set for February the 3rd of next year. We're pretty excited about that. Ivanhoe Dam. The note I had was that LJA was ready to submit documents to TCEQ. As of today, the latest comments have been sent back to TCEQ, and we're near ready for the pre-bid announcement. First pass on all documents is complete at this time. Tristan S. Turn, LJA is still working on a more cost-effective design that TCEQ will hopefully accept, that will help us stay within our budget of the funds that we have available for that. Sir Henry and Mill Creek, we paid Entergy a little over $6,000 to move their telephone pole off of our right-of-way there on Mill Creek. It's been moved now, and we're ready to start working on it again. Texas Materials was going to start on it this month, but they've pushed it out to January. They will still get Mill Creek passable before they start working on Ivanhoe Drive. Yeah, Ivanhoe Drive work was supposed to begin on the 9th, but Mill Creek is not ready yet. Texas Materials is wanting to address the rework areas first before delving into Mill Creek and Ivanhoe Drive. Lakewood, notice to proceed was issued January the 6th. They will break ground on Lakewood, and that's going to be a major piece of work and a headache for the residents back there. Lakewood's going to be torn up from Camelot Dam to Galahad Dam and from Galahad Dam to Tristan Dam, leaving only that stretch with the S-turn from Tristan to the tree. I made mention that Brazos Transit is now servicing all of Tyler County and providing transportation to and from doctor's visits, grocery store, different things that our residents might need. You can call Tyler County Emergency Management for more information, or you can go online to Brazos Transit and register, log in, and set appointments to be picked up at your residence. That's it for that. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a safe New Year. So now we're on to Chief Drumm.
All right, good evening, council, mayor. Let's see here. For the month of November, we had 32 calls for service. We issued 24 citations, 18 warnings, and we had 5 animal complaints. I think some of our animal complaints are getting redundant as far as what we're seeing and what we're hearing. It's not new things, it's the same things over and over. We've addressed it with some of them. Hopefully, over the next week or two, they'll start correcting some of those deficiencies, and then we can move into the new year with some positive direction. It's been a busy week. A lot of things in the next few weeks will be coming out that you'll be hearing about and seeing about, so stay tuned for that information. Besides that, it's been a pretty good month. We have a new officer that's going to be starting with us full-time in January, so then we'll be back, for the most part, pretty much back to full staffing. We're still going to be short one officer, but we'll be able to have a lot more coverage at that point. So we'll have some kind of a meet and greet as well in the spring. Now, for a part that I want to take a minute, I want to introduce and recognize Captain Zachary in December. If you'll come up. For those
Front and center, sir.
For those that don't know, Captain Zachary actually started his law enforcement career in 1976. According to the, what's that? 74. According to the TCO records, he's been in law enforcement for 43 years and 9 months. He's been with, he started in Ector County out in Odessa. But we've had the pleasure of having him here in Ivanhoe since 2021, and he's a dear friend, and he actually went through the transition with me from a marshal's office to a police department. Captain Zachary serves as our court bailiff during court. He does our background investigations on all applicants. That way we have a appeal process in place, or our final review, instead of just one person reviewing it, making a decision. Now we have an actual process.
And those background checks are very intense.
Absolutely. The requirements that we have through TCO now is pretty strenuous. We have to physically see the records from every agency that an employee has actually worked for. So they are time consuming, and then he delves into their background and then actually makes a recommendation to us. And then we do an interview and then go from there. So, in 1995, Captain Zachary actually achieved his Master Peace Officer, which is, for us in law enforcement, we start as a basic peace officer, and then there's a lot of experience, a lot of training, a lot of education, and through the years you advance from basic to intermediate to advanced to master. And he never really got recognized for being a Master Peace Officer. So tonight, I want to recognize Captain Zachary for his Master Peace Officer.
Thank you.
So he's been a huge asset to us. He's been a big asset to us. And so I wanted to recognize him in front of council for everything that he does.
Well done. Congratulations. Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much.
absolutely.
There it is. That's better. That's better. We are closing out our year. So far for this year, we have originated 170 work orders. We have completed 167 of those. The other 3 are in progress, and we'll still do a few more by the end of December. That averages about 14 work orders a month, and considering we only work 64 hours in a month, that's not too bad. Some of those work orders, one work order may take 2 or 3 days. We have finished the installation of approximately 63 culverts that we agreed to do instead of letting the contractors do it, for quite a substantial savings to the taxpayers of Ivanhoe. We are now going back through, putting concrete bulkheads in on many of those pipes, not all of them required it. We're going to be putting out somewhere in the neighborhood of 8,000 bags of concrete. So it's going to take a little bit. But Skip, you would have a better idea of what we saved by doing this.
It was about $2 million.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to jump out there with that, but
The original bid put us in about $2 million over the funds that we had available.
good, good. And the guys were happy to do that, as they always are, willing to pitch in. Right now, we are busy, and you brought this up, prepping for the detours on Lakewood, Ivanhoe Drive, and Mill Creek. These detours will be carried out by the contractors themselves, but they must meet strict criteria, and they have to be on a written plan to be approved by myself, the engineering firm, and that firm's inspector. They'll go through the ringer on these things. They haven't had real good luck with detours. We don't like mistakes on a detour because it really clogs things up quickly. So these will be,
The last one was you and me.
you and I flagging out there, yeah, because they did not do what they needed to do. We will make sure that they do. Other than that, working on the map for the RCP grant. Is that right, Haley? That's it. Regarding the street definitions, the street material, by street definitions, we go by TxDOT standards, which is a rating of, I think, 1 through 5, fair, poor, not so good, completely gone, that kind of stuff. Also, the street materials, we're going to have to change some of that because they've got chip seal when it's actually asphalt and different materials, but we're doing that for each of the streets out here. Hopefully that will help us out in the future. Let me grab the dams while I'm up here.
Yes, sir.
Monthly inspections for each of the dams have been completed, as they are every month. We have to keep them on file for several years for TCEQ. We have one small issue on Charmaine that you brought up earlier about the cracked concrete. In case anybody is wondering what that steel plate is there for, I understand somebody ran over it tonight. That's perfectly okay. That's what we're supposed to do. I know, I had them come out this morning and put an X on it, do something, bullseye or something, because it did. I looked yesterday on the way home and I thought, somebody's going to move that or pick it up because it looked like a piece that just fell off a truck. But we solved that issue this morning, so it's safe, but don't hesitate to run over it. It's there for your protection until we can get the pros out here, take a look and see what we need to do. But I assure you, we are on top of it. Other than that, that's it. I'm pretty short today.
So we've done the ground penetrating radar on Galahad, and we're waiting for the analysis to come back to us. I was told today that we would have it next week,
Okay.
and then from there, we'll get the dam crew together, the dam team, and decide what the next steps will be.
Okay. Sounds good. Let us know.
And then Ivanhoe Drive, the speed bump that's in the middle of the road. it was going to be a higher bump than what it is. There were going to be 36-inch culverts put in, but the fall off on the side was going to be deemed dangerous, too far of a drop. So the decision was made to go with 3 24-inch culverts. And once work begins on Ivanhoe, that section of road will be raised up to the level of what the bump is right now. So we're going to be having Texas Materials tear up and rebuild Ivanhoe Drive from the highway to the intersection at Camelot. The grant that our county commissioner has for us, he will pick up at Camelot intersection and go all the way to Charmaine Drive East with their grant money. We're really excited about getting started on that as well. So it's going to be a mess for a little while with work being done on Ivanhoe Drive, Lakewood. Hopefully Mill Creek will be passable.
That's their plan, is to have that finished to a degree where it is a good all-weather road
Actually,
before they start those.
That's our plan. They're doing what we want them to do.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, any questions from anybody?
Just one quick question. I know you work closely with Ivanhoe Police Department on your routes and such, but my question regarding the detours, do you guys also communicate with the emergency services districts as well, or how does that, walk me through how that looks,
That
please?
and the school districts, everybody will be notified. Emergency services, sheriff's department, right, Stephen? Yes. Okay. Their dispatch office, so everybody will know what's going on well ahead of time.
Beautiful.
We don't want to get anybody hurt or further injured because they took the wrong turn.
Even though there might be big red signs that say turn here.
It's happened before, yes. Okay, is that it?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay, planning and zoning, we didn't have a meeting this month. They're going through some changes. They'll be picking back up after the first of the year. Mr. Gregory, do you have anything on the Tyler County Appraisal District?
Well, it was a rather busy meeting. However, due to personal reasons, I was unable to make it. So I will be getting a copy of the minutes to get caught up. And once I have a copy of the minutes, I'll provide that to council members as well. Or if you want to get your own copy, you can contact the Tyler County Appraisal District, Open Records Act. Just request the minutes of the meeting. But that's the extent of the report I have at this time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, item 6, consider for discussion the options available to retire and dispose of the police department's Tahoe. It has over 200,000 miles on it. We are wanting to take the Explorer, thank you, and refit it to be used by the reserve officers. The transmission is going out on the. Okay, I'll go with this one. Hello, I'm Joe. So we're wanting to look at the options available to us to retire the police department's Tahoe. We want to outfit the Explorer and make it a serviceable police unit once again to be used by our reserve officers when they come on duty. The transmission is going out in the Explorer, and we have a couple of options available to us. We have a constable that's interested in purchasing the Tahoe. It's ready to go with lights and siren and everything. It would just need his electronics, the radio and the radar and the stuff that he would need. We're talking about trying to get enough money, whatever the cost of the transmission is for repairing the Explorer. We'd like to be able to sell the Tahoe to the constable if he's still interested in it, to cover the cost of the transmission for the Explorer. In the event that that falls through, we can go, I would like to go as plan B would be to take sealed bids on that one as well. Yes, sir. Come. I may not have been explaining it properly.
So the issue with the Ford Explorer that we have, the Ford Explorer only has 64,000 miles on it, so it is still in really good shape. The motor's good. It's just the transmission was starting to go, and sometimes that happens on vehicles. But it's already got some of the lights and some of the equipment already in it, so it wouldn't take much to get it back to a serviceable unit to be able to have, and it would be more reliable than what we're looking at right now with the Tahoe, over 200,000 miles. My recommendation to the mayor was if we sell it to a law enforcement officer, it doesn't have to necessarily be, there's a constable that we've talked to
Yep.
who said he may be interested. But I don't want to limit it to just that one individual. If we put it to law enforcement officer in general that's credentialed, then we can leave the equipment that's in the vehicle without having to strip it down. If we do it for auction, we have to go in and we have to remove everything completely that's law enforcement related out of the inside.
And there's a cost incurred.
And there's a cost associated with that. And so that's one of the reasons why I came to Skip and said, look, if we can sell it to a law enforcement agency or a law enforcement officer, because they may want to use it as the constable on patrol, or they may want to use it for an extra job vehicle where they're doing traffic control or things like that on the highway. So there's different options. It's just the emblems that say Ivanhoe would all be removed. That way, the city has no responsibility once it is sold and out of here. But it takes the council to actually make the decision on that. My recommendation was just trying to get enough money together to say, let's do the repairs on the Explorer. That way, we're not coming out of the budget with that, and then we have the money to replace that. That was my recommendation on it.
Thanks for the additional detail. I was kind of dancing around it. So is there any discussion on it? Right? Concerns, comments? Think.
Well, I didn't want to ask a question prematurely, but
For what?
do we have any idea at this point what the cost is going to be for repair of the Explorer?
When we replaced the transmission in one of the Tahoes, it was about $5,500.
The Explorer right now is actually at Matt's Automotive. He's going through it to let us know exactly what it's going to cost. I'm
Perfect.
hoping it's less because it's a smaller vehicle, smaller car. I'm hoping that it's actually going to be less than the 55.
Okay.
But he's going to have us a quote on it, exactly what it's going to take.
But the Tahoe was PPV, wasn't it? A police pursuit vehicle, so it would have had.
Explorer is as well.
Oh, the Ford is as well. Okay, all right. So that would explain why the transmission was so much more. So do I have a motion to be able to explore the options that are available to us and dispose of that?
Accept that. Go ahead with the Tahoe and
Do I have a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Ms. Williams, you're up.
Okay. So all the financial documents were sent out to council on December 13th. That includes the accountant's financial reports and the reconciliation details for each account. All of those reports can also be found in the council packet for those of you who have not gotten your emails set up yet. The state comptroller direct deposited $6,948 on December 13th for sales and use tax that were collected in October and reported to the comptroller in November. Last month, the sales tax deposit was $7,389. The November ad valorem taxes were received on December 6th, totaling $44,909. $36,271 went to maintenance and operations, and $8,638 for the interest and sinking fund. We received no payment for Ivanhoe North. The calculated balance of delinquent taxes stands at $346,929 as of November 31st, which is the aggregate amount from 2010 to the present. The Texas class interest rates started off at about 4.7% at the beginning of the month. By the end of the month, they had decreased to 4.5%. That's on the lower end because for about 6 to 8 months we were sitting at, I think, 5.2%. So with the market, they're kind of dwindling down a little bit. There's nothing new to report with the Citizen State Bank accounts. After reviewing the totals for various departments, the budgets are all correct. The bank statements were reconciled, and I do believe the November financials can be approved.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a motion to approve the November financials?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Any executive session additions?
No, there's no, sir. Is there any further discussion while we're here before we make a motion to adjourn?
Nothing here, sir.
Very good. Can I have a motion?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.